Supreme Court Justice Amy Coney Barrett, she strikes again and voted with the progressive left on a pivotal ruling that just came out this morning from the Supreme Court. In a 4-3 vote, Barrett sided with the progressives on an issue that was specific to the postage dates on mail-in ballots for local, state, and federal elections. This is the recipe book for how Democrats have played elections for probably the last 15 years. And Amy Coney Barrett, as you can see here when she was, but just before she was a Supreme Court justice, looked very conservative. Well, she's voted as anything but since her ascension and role into a Supreme Court justice. So let's hear a little bit more about this ruling and what Amy Coney Barrett has done to you, me, our kids, and our grandkids as it relates to free and fair elections.
All right, guys, this is not a win for Republicans who were challenging
Not
this.
at all.
Mississippi has a state law which allows ballots to be counted, mail-in ballots after Election Day. If they come in, they're postmarked and meet the state requirements, but it is a 5-4 loss for Republicans. And an interesting cobbling together of who wrote on this. Justice Barrett wrote the opinion. Justice Roberts joined her along with Justices Sotomayor, Kagan, and Jackson. So those 5 stuck together on this. The dissent comes from Justice Alito.
Unreal.
Thomas Gorsuch and Kavanaugh join him. And essentially what the majority said is that these federal statutes setting Election Day don't prescribe or they don't stand in conflict with states that want to say, okay, we have a procedure to count ballots after Election Day. Justice Alito, writing for the dissent, says today's decision is inconsistent with the terms of the Election Day statutes, contemporary election law principles, 2 centuries of historical practice, and the case law on the question presented.
Exactly.
So, if you're a state out there that counts ballots after Election Day based on your state law, that state law will stand. We wait on more opinions now, guys. More to come.
So, Shannon, that means, for example, in California, where it takes them forever to count ballots, this doesn't help that situation at all, right?
It does not, because basically they're deferring to the states on when they can count those ballots after Election Day. They say the federal statute may set Election Day, but these states that have allowed for procedures outside of that and the way that they collect and how and when they collect those ballots, those state laws are going to be good. Mississippi was the state here, but yes, this will apply to places like California as well.
So again, places like California, New York, Illinois, Michigan, they still get what they want. They get the ability to count as many ballots as they'd like after Election Day. So let's look at what happens and what we can expect more of for an election. This is the mayoral race in Los Angeles, and on the far right is the Election Day vote. And as you can see, Nithya Raman just decimated Spencer Pratt as the days counted and the ballots were harvested after Election Day. And you can see in this graphic just how bad it was. Mail-ins that arrived before Election Day split at 38% for Karen Bass, 27% for Spencer Pratt, and 20% for Raman. Well, now look at the change. Mail-ins that arrived after Election Day, and again, this would still be legal as per the ruling that Amy Coney Barrett allowed to happen. Raman got a 17% surge. Karen Bass lost 3%, and Spencer Pratt went negative 9%. So Republicans have no chance of winning in this type of environment that Amy Coney Barrett, again, conservative Amy Coney Barrett, is allowing to happen. Well, Amy Coney Barrett, this is the most recent picture we can find from her. She's gone full woke. You can see the difference here between Amy Coney Barrett, the conservative, before she got on the bench, and now Amy Coney Barrett, the person that votes right alongside with Sotomayor, one of the most progressive ideological leftist Supreme Court judges that we've ever had. There's no difference now between Amy Coney Barrett's record and Sotomayor. So what did Donald Trump have to say about this? He hit up Truth Social this morning, and he said this, and this is critical, because again, we have majorities in the House and majorities in the Senate. This is Donald Trump. In light of the tremendous loss in the Supreme Court today concerning voters' rights and the fact that people's votes are allowed to be counted long after an election is over, It is more important than ever to pass the Save America Act, which will allow all voters that they must show photo ID. It should also allow all voters must show proof of citizenship. And it will also allow for no mail-in ballots except for illness, disability, and military deployment or travel. Trump goes on to say there are no excuses for politicians or otherwise to be against these three requirements. That is, unless you want to cheat. There is only one reason to oppose it: cheating. The House of Representatives has approved this 3 times going on 4. The United States just seems to be unable to pass this, or the United States Senate seems to be unable to pass it. And that is because, as you can see on the bottom, 5 Republican Senate holdouts, Lisa Murkowski, Susan Collins, Tom Tillis, Bill Cassidy, and Mitch McConnell, they must vote to save our country. So in light of this morning's Supreme Court ruling and the conservative judge gone astray, now basically progressive ideologue, Amy Coney Barrett, we need the Save America Act now more than ever. We need to be able to prevent the steal, prevent ballot harvesting, to show proof of citizenship, to show photo ID. There's hundreds of countries across the world that just ask for those basic things. That's all we're asking for. We want to be able to have free and fair elections, especially in light of this morning's Supreme Court ruling. What do you think? Do you agree with the ideologue, Amy Coney Barrett? I mean, she's truly gone woke if you look at her. This is what she is. This is conservative Amy Coney Barrett, who, again, her record has been nothing but siding with Sotomayor and the left since she's got on the bench. There's not one ruling I can think that she didn't, where it was a critical point for conservative family values, for MAGA values, and for making sure that we have free and fair elections. Woke Amy Coney Barrett doesn't care about that, but if I missed something, let me know in the comments down below. And if you've yet to subscribe to The Chris Locke Show, we'd love to have you along for the ride. We'll see you very next video. Be sure to like and subscribe to The Chris Locke Show for the latest America First news, conservative commentary, and the stories that mainstream media refuses to cover. These 2 videos right up here, they're going to be next. Pick your favorite. I'll see you over there.